Hey guys, it's Josh, and another day has passed, and it was a pretty easy one. Yesterday was a pretty relaxed. I woke up kind of late, but it wasn't too bad, and I went through work and busted that out and got my 8 in and came home, and I well, actually, I should explain this first. When I was in work, I found a podcast for Naughty Dog and their history, and I went through and I listened to it, and I also went through and did a little bit more research. So a script that I'm writing right now had a lot of new information that I needed to use to update, just because I felt like putting it out the way it was just wasn't the best way to go. So I figured the best way to do it would be to start updating it and changing it. And now I'm actually running on a whole new script. So that's currently what I'm doing with that. So I have a new script that I'm writing. I also sat down and I started to figure out how exactly I want to set up my horror idea and what days I want to do, like what dates I want to start doing that again, and reschedule all that. So that's something I'm doing also that I spent some time doing. And then I also thought of some new concepts and ideas that I might try to implement here soon. I think there's one that I want to do around New Year's, because I think that's the best way to actually unveil it. But I don't know if I want to tackle that. I might wait till next year and have a bunch of content. I think that's something I might try to do. So I think that's kind of the plan. So that's what I'm going to do with that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna sit down, and as I'm talking to you about it, the more my ideas are coming together. I think I'm gonna sit down and try to at least write out the concept and make sure I don't lose that idea, and try to tackle that, because I really want to move forward. Because I really kind of, the more I'm sitting here and talking, the more that the idea is popping in my head, and the more that I want to just jump on it and like really take and kick ass with it. So that's kind of what I want to do. And pretty much after that, it was just pretty relaxed. I sat down and I recorded some footage, and kind of experimented a little bit and tried to figure out all the ins and outs with my two capture cards I have. I have an Elgato HD 60 and an Elgato HD, and the only reason why I actually bought the Elgato HD was to be able to record PlayStation 3 footage, just because with the encryption that the PlayStation 3 has, the Elgato HD 60 does not work, because it does not have an alternate port other than the actual HDMI port that it uses. The other thing I could have done is I also probably could have got a converter and just did, let's see, what was it? RCA to HDMI. And I think that might have technically worked, but I figured at that point I have two capture cards, one in case the other one breaks down, and I can just use the HDMI or the HD 60 for everything that I'm not doing PlayStation 3 wise. So I'm not going to really stress out about that. It is what it is. I'm not going to be upset. Then it's kind of cool just being able to say that I have not only the one but the backup. That's something that is nice to be able to have. It's one of the few pieces of technology I can say that I actually have a backup for. Looking back on it, I probably shouldn't have bought the HD when there's a cheaper alternative. But looking back on it, having that, like I said, I can probably say back up 18 times this day, but having that is nice to know, just in case if something happened, I do have something to use if I want to record, because I still really want to jump on my video games series. As you can tell, I have a million ideas that I want to try to jump through and create, and not that much time in the day. So we'll see which projects I plan to tackle and try to create. I'm going to try to sit down and try to create a timeline and really tackle some of these personal projects, because I really want to get them together. And so that's kind of where I am with all that. So, but I think that's where I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go ahead and go tackle all those, because I really want to tackle all those. So you guys have a good evening.